Okay Interesting podcast. All right, welcome back to Okay Interesting,
Yep.
and we
Uh,
have Hiten
Hi
with us.
Salman, hi Abhishek. Yeah,
Hi.
hi. This is Hiten here, and basically a non-tech guy, but having some kind of knowledge about tech and games and kind of retro stuff. So here I am with you guys. Okay,
That's a side
and
effect of knowing Sanman, I guess.
Yeah.
definitely I'm to say, this guy goes too much into deep of tech. You know, I know him since 1998 onwards. It has been huge number of years now, I must say. And I even attended his marriage, I'm to say, in Delhi, which was a fantastic, very nice. Okay,
Nice.
so for we and Salman, we go way back, and actually our friendship started because of games.
Yeah.
Very, very funny. We came to a place to study. We were into NIT, and we were
Okay.
there doing our GNIT, DNIT courses and Java
Uh,
programming. And there this guy comes, yeah, and he's giving games to people. He's carrying DVDs and CDs with him.
Visual
Like,
Studio, to be very specific. Visual Studio 6.
who does that? Who does that in
Yeah.
NIT? Who gets games? Like, and this guy actually
No
gets
time, right?
games to NIT, and you won't believe he even has installed games in the NIT computers. So there's a Need for
Hmm.
Speed 2 or 3,
Oh,
which
Need
was
for
at
Speed 2.
LAN gaming. Need for Speed 2, LAN
Yeah.
gaming. We have got 5 machines which have got this installed. And Salman is telling, "Aaj hum log class के बाद games खेलेगा." And like, Salman is class. हाँ हाँ चलता है kind of. And you won't believe, because at that point of time he had just come back from Bahrain. So his
Okay.
Hindi was not
Hindi
very
was
strong.
NRI Hindi.
So he's still, he is not very, very strong in Hindi. And so he used to like, हाँ हाँ चलता है, हम करेगा. And I'm like, okay, this guy is not from India. He doesn't understand how this works. He's talking this language, but it's still fine. Let us do that. And we actually were playing games in NIT. This was, we used to hide the files in the machines. He actually taught us how to hide the files, so the faculty cannot
Oh,
find us where the files are hidden.
you
Nice.
rename the
So
folder. While
yeah,
renaming it in command prompt, you do Alt 255. So it performs a special character that hides the folder completely. So nobody,
see, he
not
still
in Windows, can
remembers.
read it.
Yeah,
Not in
yeah.
Windows can read it.
He's
So,
a library for tech. So,
Library, you
yeah,
won't
yeah.
imagine what this person has done. He used to play games and games. So we became friends in that place. We started playing games, and the Need for Speed is one of the games. Then this guy, I asked him, where do you stay? He says, I stay in Chembur. I said, I also stay in Chembur. Then he said, where do you stay? I say, I stay in this place. He says, I stay in this place. Why don't you come to my home? First, I was thinking, shall I go, not go? But then again, it was a craze of games. I said, let me just go and, meet this guy. So I enter his home, and he's sitting on his typical computer chair, big ones, a big, massive one. But Salman has always been on the bigger side. You take it now or earlier. He was the guy, he's like the man in the position. So he sits on this big computer chair. He has a computer in front of him, and he tells me, sit. So the auntie gets me a chair, and I'm sitting next to him. Now he opens the desktop and he says, ये देखो मेरे पास ये वाला गेम है, ये वाला गेम है, तुझे कौन सा गेम चाहिए? I said, my God, he's got so many games. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. I'll show you more. And then he opens a bag. That bag, there's a spindle, and the spindle has got, I don't remember the number of games which this man has got. Huge, huge collection of games at that point of time. I'm talking 1999. Imagine that. That game, something like Soldier of Fortune.
ah,
Old game was there. He used to also have this digit magazines.
hmm.
So this man used to have,
I was
that
really
digit
fond
ka
of it.
subscription done, and so in that you used
No,
to
there's
get
no
these demo
subscription. It
games.
is Chembur Station. You walk down and have to
You buy it.
physically get it,
Actually,
especially
there
for the
were two
CD.
companies. There were two companies. One was Digit, and there was one more company, PC Magazine. No,
PC.
PC Guide or
PC,
something.
PC magazine is international, I think.
No, that's
Not
different.
here.
There was
There
something
was
local
Digit
also.
is
Yeah.
okay. Is it still
Digit, I
available?
still remember.
Digit
Uh,
is still there. The
hmm,
other one, I'm not sure. It used to be there.
I know. I'm
मतलब-
trying to
I
recall,
think
but
so. It is PC Guide. I
PC
think so. It is
Guide,
PC
something of that
Guide which
sort.
was there.
Hmm.
Because with Digit, I remember that was a company owned by a company, just to buy media. They
Okay.
were the parent company which had this digit, every monthly subscription. So he used to collect all the magazines. He used to collect all the DVDs, and then I told him saying that, "Can you give me?" And you won't believe me, Abhishek. He tells, "Huh, you take it. You take this, you take that, you take this, you take that." And I'm like, okay, he's giving me so many stuff, Michael. If I don't give him back all, nothing, pretty cool, pretty chill about it. And then I used to get basically games from him. He was actually my first supplier.
Ah.
You can say, games ka official supplier was Sanman and nobody else. Then later on, I called him at my place. So he comes to my home, he sees my setup, and my mother is asking, "Who's this guy?"
Ah.
I said, "He's my friend Sanman from Bahrain." Huh? Sanman from Bahrain?
Bahrain.
Bahrain? You got an international friend? I said, "Yeah, he's an international friend of mine." So where did you meet him? I told her saying that I met him in NIT. You people go for studies or you play games? I said,
Ah.
"नहीं, नहीं, that is simultaneous चलता है." But you won't believe, my parents were so much fond of this guy. He used to be such a decent fellow, come to my house, sit properly, then eat and kind of be
चिकन
comfortable.
खाते थे हितेन के घर पे हाँ.
Yeah, till today, if I tell my parents saying that Salman is taking me to Thailand, they'll be like, "Okay, beta, go." They
Yeah,
won't
yeah.
even
Trustworthy fellow.
question, like the kind of, his face itself, is like, "Oh my God, this is like such a godly man," kind of.
Godly man.
Matlab, he's like,
That's the scary part, right?
Scary.
Nowadays, godly
I,
men are the scary
Yeah.
ones.
uh,
Anyway,
but I
off
still
topic.
remember there was one girl in NIT which actually called Salman very cute fellow and something. There was this girl who used to, that Salman is very cute, he's so nice, and I don't remember her name, but there was this girl.
There were many vessels because I
See,
was like the teacher's pet.
uh,
Always research
Oh,
and
you were the
see.
teacher's pet.
वो कुछ नया. We could see the schedule, right? What all is that we learned? SQL है,
mm,
listening है. So I'll always install it because that time I was doing correspondence. So college was there, but NIT is the main thing. So
mm,
so get to
too much
study
of
on
free
that.
time with him.
Yeah, a lot of free time.
So we actually started playing games from that time. Okay,
Mm.
and so again, there were around two three things which were very very common at that point of time. One was we started buying games, and there was typical vendors. Those would be in town side near the VT Fort area.
Victoria Terminus. Yeah.
So yeah, so we actually we to say used to catch train from Chembur station, go all the way to your VT station, get down, then again go walking and meet these typical game guys, those who have, that a box where they will say, okay, you want some CD, single
Choose.
game, 100 rupees, two games, 200 or 300 something was the cost. So
Mm.
we actually used to collect money and we used to go and, we used to actually check, okay, CD1, CD, okay, okay, this looks good. This is a new game. Shall we take it?
We used to look
Uh-huh,
at the
yeah, yeah,
bottom
yeah,
of the
yeah.
CD, and
Huh.
if it's shining or if it's not reflective, we could make out the quality. How much is written, we could see that based on the coloring.
Line.
It'll be lighter, and the rest of the
Yeah.
CD will be darker. So we could make out, okay, this game is not much. There's not much quantity in it. So no, no, let it be. If it's more quantity, yes, yes, let's try that. So
Basically, they taught us that in the CD, their basic data is collected in a pits and lands, that format.
mm,
So the design of the layout is basically that pits and land which is there. So we actually used to buy too many games there, and then sometimes used to come back home, install the game or copy it in our version, and then say, "भैया आपका CD काम नहीं कर रहा है." We used to, we,
Yeah, we have
भैया
all done that.
yeah.
भैया दूसरा सीडी दे दो, भैया ये काम नहीं कर रहा है, एंड पीपल एंड दे परस्यू नहीं, एंड आई स्टिल रिमेंबर दिस वाज अ केरला मलयाली गाय. सो इन द टिपिकल एक्सेंट यूज्ड टू से, नहीं सर मैं ट्राई किया, चलता है मेरे यहाँ पे, आप जब
Used
भी
to
चलेगा.
convince us
एंड
back, and he's
ही
like,
यूज्ड टू कन्विंस
एक और
बैक.
उसका copy है, ये वो ले लो.
हाँ, आप ये वाला कॉपी ले लो, एंड वी यूज्ड टू, नो नो वी डोंट वांट दिस, यू वांट टू गिव और नो, वी आर रेगुलर कस्टमर्स, व्हाई आर डूइंग दिस,
हाँ.
they're coming from so far. So we used to again go back to these kind of shops and we have bought games, but n number of games. How many, anytime we used to go there, at least 2 or 3 games were bought, at least.
Ah.
Strategy, role playing, or
You
your
did a lot of
uh,
RPG, you did a lot of MMORPG. I did a lot of
yes,
strategy, Command and Conquer a lot. Command and Conquer 3,
Yuri's Revenge,
Yuri's Revenge a lot, because that's like you're setting up your base and you're setting up
Emperor Battle for Dune,
resources. But no,
Starcraft,
StarCraft.
Submarine Titans. Submarine
Okay.
Titans,
You have played a lot of Warcraft. Warcraft, तो इतना you have used to play.
Warcraft Frozen Throne.
Yeah, you have
Warcraft Frozen Throne, yes.
that one, and
But those were really good games. The kind
those
of
are,
strategy which was there. Still today I don't find games of that kind of
they
strategy are
are, but they're
coming.
so flashy and there's so much complications. That time there was enough
Simplicity.
decent number
Yeah.
of characters and decent amount of action to be performed and tasks. Now the number of characters that they put in, it's so
Storylines
vast
are
that
more.
you need to have been in that game, evolving with it, so you know them. You know Ken, Ryu, and Raiden, and all those.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat ke pata hai, and Street Fighter ke pata hai.
Street
But
Fighter
then,
pata hai.
but Mortal Kombat evolved to such a level that you're like, suddenly, who are these guys? They look like Raiden, but they do some robotic stuff. And they look like, Ken and Ryu from Street Fighter, but they do something different. So if you're reading for the first generation, my first generation of gaming, the very, very beginning, was in 1991 from Atari. The
Heard
wide
of it.
big
Console.
wooden board and the small
Yeah.
cartridges, and in those cartridges, if the ends were golden looking, those are the
Gold-plated,
original
yes.
OGs.
Ah.
Hashtag OG
But Salman,
cassettes.
those were the console wars.
Those were
That was the
हाँ, हाँ.
console. There was a console wars because Atari, which you said,
Sega
Atari
and-
was there. Sega came into picture.
that Sega was second generation. Atari with one red button and one joystick. That was revolutionary at that time. And during Gulf
These were
War,
typical games.
and for us during Gulf War, when we were locked into our houses, there's nothing, no school, nothing to go out, nothing to do. Atari was our escapism. We couldn't go out, do anything. And at home, there's CNN and there's those cruise missiles and Saddam Hussein. But for us, it was, hang on, we have Atari. We have no school, nothing to study. And, let's plug this in and start playing. And we were playing this, all those tanks, and there's this, these
So
cowboys.
that's
and all
how
that.
you became a pro gamer, right?
Mostly indoors, because in Gulf, there's so much heat. They're just like 50 degrees out. So you rather be inside, and indoors, then you need to start, then we had got Sega Mega Drive. And that also we had those multiple cartridges, WWF, and this and that.
But you never
Mortal
tried
Kombat.
the 8-bit then. You tried Atari, but because after Atari came the 8-bit cartridges. And then after 8-bit came the 16-bit cartridges. So the Sega which you play, Sega was basically 16-bit.
16-bit.
It's a 16-bit, yeah. So between that,
Better
there was an
quality.
8-bit, yeah. Better quality, because I had Samurai. I had this Samurai 8-bit cartridge.
It goes
video
round, it
game,
just goes continuously towards one direction only, keeps fighting. I've played that. One of my relatives had that. And I finished that game in one sitting. I was like, okay, ye kya hai?
Even Nintendo had come up at that point of time. When this 8-bit war was going on, Nintendo actually came up with a console, and the cartridges were way bigger. It was not that small cartridges. They had bigger cartridges. Literally like, like a video cassette. So they used to basically insert the video cassette. I actually played that also. So they were again, selected games which were there. So 16-bit, again, with Sega coming into picture, 16-bit came into there. After 16-bit, there was also 32-bit also gaming which came. But it was never successful. Nintendo came with 32-bit of gaming.
And at that time,
after 32-bit, directly this came.
The Game Boy and those mini cartridges, if you have played. So for us, I know I had a Game Boy, but I always saw other kids having those and having the small cassettes, and then like, wow, I have a console in my hand and I can play games whenever I want. Then those foldable Game Boys, which came with one game inside, the game, and that's it. Chotu sa, you can just fold it. It looks like a Samsung Z Fold now, but that was mega thick. And you have this construction.
But you won't believe Nintendo made a huge amount of money, Salman.
Yeah.
Nintendo was the gaming company out there at that point of time. The Game Boy which you're talking about, the console one game, they had one very, very successful game that was called Zelda.
Yeah.
There was just one character, Zelda. Yeah. So Zelda was one of the games. Zelda was there, and then there was Donkey Kong.
Oh, Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong on Nintendo. So that was, also a good game. And when you talk about this console, that I have this console in my hand, you won't believe, but there is a movie called as Police Academy. If you have seen that movie,
1, 2, 3, 4,
in
5,
the
6,
movie,
7, 8.
but in that one part where But when Police Academy goes to Russia,
Uh,
if you have seen that part in that movie, they have used this Nintendo Game Boy as a console.
oh.
They have actually shown this console in the movie, and
Mm.
because again at that point of time, there were not many movies which were showing, video games or arcade based kind of thing. There were very few games which were, shown in a movies or kind of theme.
Correct.
Because I've
It was not in
seen
the
one
culture. They didn't
movie,
know whether
it
it
was
can be
not, it
even
was not.
shown and what will be the reaction. But eventually, Nintendo being Japanese, the advertisement, the backing, and then Sega being again Japanese, and Atari is Atari again. I think is more of a Eastern only. It doesn't. Maybe it's American. I don't remember Atari where,
No, it
where
was
it
more
is.
of Eastern. No,
Most of
it is not
all
American.
this gaming is more of Eastern, and even now, if you see, there are hardcore gamers from Eastern who do MMORPG, they do arcade, dance off, and all those kind of things. They are hardcore gamers on a different level, on a stadium level. They have those stack of these fellows sitting and gaming crazy. You can just rent a machine, sit there,
They
start
sit
playing.
there for 24/7. I've seen people sitting there for 3 days, 4 days, 7 days. I have been to Singapore once. So
Uh,
I went to this place. I want to see, how the gamers do. I actually saw few gamers sleeping there. I like
uh,
sleeping. I asked the owner saying that, sir, they're sleeping. They said, yeah, they have been sleeping here. They have been here for past 7 days. Like
mm.
7 days? Like if I'm there out for, 2 hours or 3 hours, I'll be like, let's go home now. It's been 2 hours or 3 hours. But they are gaming. They are crazy people.
Mm.
The South Asians or in the eastern side here, people
And we have done a smaller
crazy
version of that
players.
with Counter Strike, which was take Age of Empires and you take
Oh,
uh, you know a full-on strategy game, and it takes 1 hour to build your base, build your army. Then all your friends who are sitting around, Cholo, are you ready? Let's attack. We're all sitting next to each other. Are you ready? Let's attack. And at
but
that
I'll.
time,
But before
That is
attack,
what
Salman,
is
let me tell you.
currently like formed into Clash of Clans, right? That's the same thing.
Clash of Clans, yeah, it's like a
Age of Empires back then is now Clash of Clans. Like not the same game, but
it's very
the
different.
idea is the same.
Correct. And what it
Yeah.
wanted to do,
Abhishek, you won't believe what Salman had done. This man was so much crazy about this Red Alert Yuri's Revenge. He actually downloaded the videos. He used to run the videos only. Like the videos were so crystal, so nice. That
uh,
typical Yuri and that the president of USA, and then there's this female Tanya. He
I mean,
remembers Tanya now.
because that time having actual actors act out something
Hmm.
and that
Yes.
play as an in-game sequence was pretty unique. And then the format was not a simple MOV or AVI or anything like that. So it had to be in a separate format. Usko
Hmm.
decode karke, then you need to view it in a different player. So yeah, pretty fun.
Imagine Abhishek, he has done the same thing in the year 1999 when it was not possible. Downloading, I'm to say, in-game video and converting them and then showing it to me saying that, see, Hiten, I got all the 20 videos. Tell me which one you want to see. I'm
Uh,
like, okay, I need to play the game. I go from one stage to another stage, and then there's a intro video which comes,
the
and
story,
this
yeah.
guy is downloading every video. And
So
the same kind of,
one comment on that.
yeah, yes,
Sanman does not know the word impossible, I think.
agree on
Right?
that.
Yeah.
And the same thing, this in-game video happened also with Emperor Battle for Dune.
Really?
Emperor Battle for Dune, House Atreides, House Harkonnen, and that you must have seen the movie Dune.
Yeah.
So again, that is the kind of strategy game which they wanted to make. But Emperor Battle for Dune was a 3D version, wherein
Correct.
Command and Conquer: Yuri's Revenge
Was
was a
a
2D.
2D. Yeah.
It was a
2D.
2D
Like GTA,
2D visual.
GTA 1 and 2 was full
But
on
2D.
2D, it's a helicopter view. And GTA 3 is when it broke the internet. It took max payne
Yeah.
and it took, your Need for Speed, and you mix it and you get GTA 3. And it was like a
GTA
dream.
3 was revolutionary. Like
It was
a
something
lot
else.
of people are fanboys of Vice City because it became really popular after that. But I feel GTA 3 was the revolution.
Correct.
It was nothing like that. No game
Open
was like that at
world,
that time.
do anything anywhere, and then modifying the cars, modifying the tanks, adding weights, adding, modifications to the next level within in-game.
Cheat codes.
Cheat codes, and then having
Kill
access.
anyone.
Correct.
That was
Get
not
weapons,
earlier
kill anyone.
possible.
Yeah,
We
it
played
wasn't
so many
possible
games
for.
in terms of the graphics. If I tell you about, Max Payne was one game which was very different in terms of graphics.
Oh yeah.
The slow-mo, the kind of slow-mo which feature which you had.
Neo
If you
Noir.
want to
Yeah.
shoot somebody,
Cutscenes.
jump and do a slow-mo kind of thing, and the snow is coming, and then kind of scenario. The way the entire atmosphere of the game was very different. So we used to love playing that game, Max Payne.
And
I
what
think so. Max Payne 1 came, 2 came, in Max Payne 3 also came.
they
But the
also
most
came.
successful was 1.
One, and it's there on Android. They ported it to Android, so
Hmm.
you can see it on the Play Store. It's a decent price, but yeah, you can still play it. And what we didn't have that time, we couldn't all have physical assets. We couldn't have physical CDs with everybody. So there was a software called Virtua CD,
Yeah.
which used to take a CD, make an
Emulate.
ISO, and then it'll
Image.
mount it,
Emulate.
Yes.
and then it'll just make a virtual copy of it. And then we did that for Red Alert. We asked that guy in the gaming center, you make
Mm.
this game and put it and host it on all the machines, and then we all get a copy and we'll get to play. So that is one way of all of us.
Abhishek, there was a time where me and Salman and there were 2 more guys. We actually went for a competition. Has he ever told you about the competition? He
Mm.
must have not told you. There's a place called as People Tree.
Oh yeah.
Okay, People Tree in Chembur. There used to be LAN gaming competition,
Mm.
and bang opposite we used to have our NIIT. So we came to know saying that okay, there's some LAN gaming which happens in this place. So Sanman says, Hitin, chalo, let's go. I said, okay, there's one more guy, Sagar, let him also come. Ha, it's okay. And then one more guy, Gautam, he said, okay. So we 4 guys actually go to this LAN gaming zone, and we see there are around 35 machines. At that
Mm.
point of time, seeing 35 computers at one place, all of them,
What is
playing games.
a network? Something that has a network of its
Yes.
own, something that has machines with that configuration, and because they're only cyber cafes. They're only cyber cafes where you go
Yeah.
and you do surfing and that's it. But this one
Mm.
was not a cyber cafe, it was pure gaming only. And it had glass isolated zones that you can play with your buddies
Mm.
and make noise there and not disturb the others.
Yeah. And the unique part about this glass door which he's talking about, there used to be 5 guys. Those used to be, the gang leaders of the place. The
Oh,
5 guys. So they used to be always in that place. So whenever you go, you will find these 5 guys sitting inside. And they had their dedicated machines. So
hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 guys. Right now, I'm to say Karan, like Karan is one of the guys who used to be there, and
The
he's now a
tall
very
guy.
good friend of mine, the
Mm-mm-mm.
tall guy, tall Catholic guy. Then there used to be this Saurabh Mapsekar was a Maharashtrian guy. Then there used to be
Oh,
one Gautam, and all those people were there. So you won't believe, Abhishek, there was one tournament which happened. It was basically for Unreal tournament,
oh.
capture the flag. At that point of time, so we used to, we actually enrolled ourselves, saying that we need to be part of this tournament, and so we paid the money, and saying that okay, if we win, we will be getting some kind of prize also. So we in the last round, only those 5 guys, and sorry, those 4 and we 4, we were the only four these 2 teams which are left, and we kicked their ass badly. We actually won, and they were like, okay, you guys came to our zone, you have defeated us, we surrender now. And that's how we actually became good friends with
Friends,
them.
good friends with them.
Yeah,
And we
we were
had a
friends
like
with
a
them because next time we used to go.
digit magazine spin-off idea and all that, and they formed a team who'll be editor. And I had an idea that instead of having the big series, you have the Sony Wallace compact series. We put that in cost effective 300 MB also, and you don't need to write a lot. And then we had like who will do what section, who will do what section, planning, binning, and
they
all that
they
was done.
had huge ideas, they had
Hmm.
this huge ideas. But at that point of time, we actually, when we won that, I think so, they gave us some free hours, 1 or 2 hours free, and some t-shirt or some mouse pad or something, some gift they gave.
Mouse
But
pad, I
it was
think.
but again,
Hmm.
that gift was, not that in terms of value, it was not huge, but in terms of, saying that okay, we did there, we went there, we conquered, kind of scores, and we have won today. So that kind of feeling which happened now was at another level. And again, until tournament, you got Sanman standing there using a sniper rifle, me running towards left, right, go cap, take the flag, come to my pace, kind of
Uh-huh.
strategies. And these guys are sitting inside, we are sitting outside. They are shouting inside, we are shouting outside. and we won. So that is also, one time which we thoroughly enjoyed. This kind of gaming, the kind of scenario which was happening was too good. And then with Red Alert Yuri's Revenge, if Sanman remembers, there was again a time where there was 2-on-2. So me and Sanman are in one team, and these two guys are on the other side. So again, so Sanman and me come up with a strategy. We say that, okay, we'll do one thing. Let's try and destroy the base as fast as possible. So we say, how shall we do that? So we make the base, we make the refinery, we make a barrack, we make one commando, and we send the commando to the base. That's it. They
Before
entire
we start
base
building
is
anything, we accelerate to what is the one commander who can take care and destroy.
one
And those are
commando.
like farming. They'll do this, they'll do that. They don't expect us to do this. They expect a 1 hour long, a strategy and this, that, and then we're like, well, Tanya commando should just go and hit a bomb and it'll be destroyed, and the game is
And
over.
this was, I think, in less than 7 minutes, less than
Yeah.
6 or 7 minutes, we have done that.
Mm.
Just one single tiny commando going from your base, killing all those, the dogs and other people, placing the bomb there, boom, khatam.
Yeah.
And we had actually won that. So that was one strategy which we used.
It didn't work
And the
again.
second was,
It didn't work
no, it
again.
didn't, because then they came to know that these guys are doing this. So next time they used to have the sentry guns, where commanders to go, duck, 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 mar gaya.
Okay.
But there was one more thing which we did. That was we used to make this airfield, air bases, where used to four F-16s used to rise up. So we used to make, these
Long
4 or
distance
6
shooting.
bases. So we used to send 16 aircrafts at one time. Jao, maar ke aao. So some will die, but majority of them will be, like, okay, fine. So this is also one strategy which we use in Yuri's Revenge. Then we had this for Russia. If you have seen that in the big bomber planes they have, they were very slow moving, but their bombs used to be, kind of very, very effective. So we used to send bomber planes, and before the base could start, now we used to start bombarding. So because of the explosion, the base पे जब तक पहुंचेगा तब तक base weak हो जाता था. एक bomb में it used to die, so before the base comes, start bombarding, control C करके attack. And that's how, entire. So, there were certain strategies which we were using in these games, which I
And
don't
there
know.
was
I'm
no
going to say,
YouTube,
again,
there
if
was
you
no
play,
Twitch, and there was no
nothing.
guides.
This was on own.
You had to figure it all
There's no
on
website.
your own.
Yeah,
ऐसे करो. There's no Wikipedia. There's no game
nothing.
Wikipedia. None
I
of
think
that.
that's the fun part about gaming, right?
Explore it on
You
your own.
try and explore and you find ways on your own.
Like
Nowadays it's
GTA.
very simple. You just go check out like how to do that mission, blah blah
पूरा
blah,
walkthroughs होते हैं
and
recorded,
you're
and you
done.
know, okay, I'm stuck over here. Give me walkthrough. But when
Yeah.
GTA
You
was
won't
there,
believe.
mission was there, you needed to know the map inside out. I have to do from here to here, and GTA was so thoroughly in your brain, you knew the path. You could go there fast, more than the actual road in living world. You spent so much time there that it was mapped. That spatial memory of that map, too good. I mean, nothing like it.
Which
You won't
GTA are you
believe.
talking about? 3.
GTA 3.
Yeah.
Still GTA 3.
There
Rest
was
all were
this
nice.
game. I'll tell you
Felt
guys.
like
There
an
was this
achievement to
game.
complete it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Have you guys played this Star Wars Phantom Menace?
No, not Star
There was
Wars.
this game which was around, it came few years back. So Star Wars Phantom Menace is a game where, again, it's like you have this your main character, you need to save the queen and fight the droid army. It was, at one point of time, I've actually seen the walkthroughs which you were talking about. I know somebody who had actually downloaded a walkthrough. He actually got it printed. So there was 100 pages print. So there used to be one guy sitting next to him and say, भैया आगे चलना, भैया अभी लेफ्ट में ड्रॉइड आएगा, देखना ड्रॉइड आया, भैया अभी है ना यहाँ पे जंप मारना, तो now you jump. They completed the entire game, but it was complete through the walkthrough. But we actually,
But there's
never
no
had
fun
this
in that.
walkthrough. There was no fun in that, but we actually never got that. We were, typical exploring kind of guys. Try some game, try some this, try some, mixing the technology or doing some kind of random stuff. I still remember Salman had downloaded one game. It was called Spore, 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 if he remembers. It was about, different organisms, combining and making some animals and some organisms. Again, the kind of developers which were there, the kind of thought process which they were having was quite different. Combining two different genetic species
Like alchemy,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, Alchemy was
apps.
what I was thinking of as well. And
Yeah.
even Minecraft
Yeah.
to an extent is based on that, right?
Minecraft
You
is survival
collect
with
stuff and you
building
mix it
stuff, yeah,
and then
creating
you
stuff.
build something out of
Correct.
that material that you collect. So
Correct.
it's based on the same logic.
Hmm.
Spore
So he had this
collecting.
game and he had given it to me, Spore.
I didn't play it
So
much, but he played it too much.
I played that too much, and he also gave me one very good game that was, space and intergalactic. That was called Homeworld.
Okay.
Homeworld is one game, and believe me, I'll tell you. So if you're there playing this game, okay, you can zoom in, you can zoom out, see the kind of entire universe. And when you say zoom in, for example, there are 100 ships, your space galactic ships and of different type, different shapes. You can zoom in and you can just see one ship, then navigate it to a different place, launch missiles. And graphically, if you see that the entire scenario, the way the game was made, very good, very nice, very unique also.
Mm-hmm.
So there were certain games, which had this, saying that the atmosphere which was getting created, the kind of narration, the kind of story which is coming to you, maybe because again that playing these kind of games, where you need to see stars, galaxies, yours, teleportation to another planet and all those kind of things, on the game, very nice. But those were the games, these
Those are
were
good
really,
games.
really good games. Yeah, they were really, really good. So we played again. This Homeworld was different. Spore was a different kind of game. 2D
Mm.
games, all those kind of games. With as Salman said earlier, the Counter Strike which we had. So we used to play Salman Counter Strike 1.6 or 1.5. With 1.6, actually, we were able to play some modified maps. There were
Mm.
certain maps which were completely modified, and they were, if I'm not wrong, they were Untitled 1, Untitled 2, and all those kind of maps which are downloadable from from different websites. So again, used to be, this kind of clan matches which used to happen. So we played Counter Strike, and they used to have typical pattern B431. That was, on your keyboard. If you type this, that is
Oh,
buy
getting the
431. That
guns.
is, buy M4,
Uh-huh.
M431.
Correct, correct,
M4,
correct.
that is M4 you buy, then you buy a Desert Eagle, then you
Yeah,
buy
yeah.
grenade. So they would very quickly just buy and
Cut, cut,
run
cut, cut,
towards the
cut, cut,
enemy
cut. Huh.
base.
Yeah.
That typical, cut, cut,
Yeah.
that
Uh-huh.
typical, that sound which used to come out. Yeah. So, and then, how faster you can go to the base. So that when you're running towards a base,
You do
do
bounce
not run with your gun, run with a knife
Yeah,
in your
yeah.
with a
hand.
knife
So
and
you
then
run
Yeah,
return
it
faster.
runs
control.
faster.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you run
Experience
faster.
that.
Okay. So and people used to jump and run.
Yeah.
So if somebody's trying to kill you because
He's
you're
not
jumping and
gonna
running, the
get a
chance
aim.
of killing becomes
We used to call
so
that the snake strategy, right? Like if somebody's trying to, like, if a snake is chasing you, so you run zigzag.
Okay,
So
okay.
similarly, if somebody's
Zigzag
trying to
still
shoot you, you
works.
run zigzag.
Zigzag still works.
So
Be it
yeah, yeah.
Battlefield, be it any game. If they're sniping, you're the nightmare
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the sniper.
Zigzag
You're like, what is
is
this guy doing?
zig.
You'll try to predict also, then it's like, no way. So,
I
it was
recommend
quite a simple game.
uh,
you guys play
Uh,
PUBG like now,
PUBG
the
PC.
PC version.
Hmm.
PC. Yeah.
PC,
I
that
have
I still
PUBG
have.
PC. Just need
Maybe
the,
we can.
friend circle, that's all.
Yeah. So I have a
Uh,
group playing out of like some are based in Canada. My
Hmm.
cousin plays from here. I join them from time to time after work,
Hmm.
whenever we get time. So most welcome, you guys. We have a Discord. I'll add you to that,
Yeah.
and we can start. Maybe we can create our own Discord also if you want to like have a private circle as well.
Hmm.
That's also fine
Because I
because
gave
he
Fortnite a
has like
try.
4 5 different. I never played Fortnite.
It felt very
I don't know.
cartoony. It felt very cartoony.
Yeah,
And
thoda
then
sa
it
it
felt
feels
very
cartoonish.
Minecraft come meets PUBG, where you're building stuff, you're getting onto it.
Building
And
aspect, yeah.
so
PUBG is good. PUBG is
PUBG is
good.
much better.
As you said,
Yeah.
cartoony, and then what
Yeah.
kiddo lagta hai. Even the characters are, the way they're
They're
dancing,
all dancing.
like
Like,
Yeah, yeah,
dancing
yeah, yeah.
really?
characters. They're like,
Really?
there was this
I
guy who actually became famous in US. He was a small kid. He used to, have
Ninja.
the dance steps.
No,
I
Ninja
don't
is
know
not a
which.
kid.
No,
No,
Ninja
no,
no,
is
no.
no. Ninja's
our
not a
age.
kid.
There was
Ninja is
this
our
guy,
age.
a small kid, used to dance on that typical dance steps of
Okay, okay, okay,
this,
okay.
Fortnite
Okay,
dance
so
steps which
you're
are there.
okay.
Yeah. Well, again,
Yeah, so
quite
that
kiddish,
dance step became very viral.
viral.
People used to do that
Uh,
in nightclubs also. I've been to
Oh,
and
nightclubs where
kind of,
they
yeah,
were doing the Fortnite
yeah.
dance.
all right.
Uh,
And now Fortnite has become so popular that there are artists which are coming and hosting their their events or their concerts on the Fortnite platform. It's become
Oh,
that famous, and
how
they
does
have a
Something like
that
metaverse
happen?
tie-in to that.
metaverse, huh? Something like
They have a
metaverse.
metaverse tie-in to that also. They have a
Interesting.
like a dedicated events thing. Like I think that exists in PUBG also. So they have different events based maps and all of those things. And similarly, that was in Fortnite also. So basically, so I follow Travis Scott. Okay, so Travis Scott arranged a concert in this Fortnite, and I wanted to attend that, but I didn't have the game, so I missed it.
Okay.
Anyway, but I can always go to
But
YouTube and search for like a concert, although it won't be live, but I can listen to it old school.
It's an interesting concept. Yeah.
okay. One thing would like to tell you regarding this metaverse. I'm a little bit out of the topic. There was an Indian singer who has bought land in metaverse. Are you
Yeah,
guys aware of
so
that?
What?
Who's a Indian
yeah.
singer? Guess.
A lot of
He's
people have
bought
done that. Yeah,
but he's I'm to say a Punjabi singer, Daler Mehndi.
What? He's bought land in which
Yeah,
side?
he's bought land in metaverse. He wanted to do a concert in metaverse.
Really?
no disrespect to
Yeah.
Daleen Mehndi, but I
Oh.
think he does not maybe understand like how
Understand what it
metaverse
is?
and NFTs work, right? So
Yeah.
maybe somebody scammed him, or maybe his PR team did it to make news since
Correct.
he's not doing a lot of concerts nowadays.
Correct.
See, I've sent a link across to you guys saying that he actually bought land and became very famous. His PR team had
Yeah,
actually put this, saying that
yeah.
okay, he's
So
bought a land in metaverse.
PR
Oh
stunt,
yeah.
classic.
No idea.
They're
So
not
as
putting
we
out
were,
songs, so they have to do something, right? And right now, see, until you understand like what the concept is, like it's nothing. You should, take it up to yourself. So that's my advice to anyone who's watching this. So we are not promoting anything related to metaverse or
mm,
NFTs. Just
Yeah, I
yes,
there's
think
a risk involved.
there's a lot of news here and there, but I mean, you're doing virtual gaming. You're doing like GTA 5 online is
Yeah,
an open world where you're interacting with everybody else. PUBG, you have a time-based, mission-based thing, but
mm,
if you play GTA 5, it's not time bound, it's not activity bound, it is not mission bound. You're free roaming there. That by itself is a metaverse. That's a game,
that's correct.
and you can
So
almost
Zuckerberg,
interact.
I think, got the idea of metaverse from this only.
Hmm.
GTA, I believe.
And there are a lot of games which are 10 to 12, 13 years back. uh, eh, M से नाम था, MUIV or something like that was there, which was like an interactive. If Yahoo Messenger was there, right? So Yahoo Messenger was just pure communication. Then there was this 3D application, you can say, where you can talk with people, but you have an avatar, and you can
Got
go
it.
to a lobby. Then there'll be 4 5 people in that lobby. Then a game came called Life or Afterlife or something, another life, something of that sort. Some game came where again it's a lobby, and you choose the genre, and then you can go there, you can talk to people, chat with
Talk to
people.
people. Yeah.
Yeah. So
It used to be
metaverse is
exciting.
very
I used to actually go to internet cafes and do that.
yeah,
Not the gaming aspect. I'm just talking about the
but
chat
yeah,
rooms. They were
just
like
randomly talking to people.
infectious. Yeah.
And you talk to them in Yahoo or ICU, if you remember ICU.
I see you.
ICQ, sorry, ICQ, with a
ICQ.
flower word, that round, this one. You meet them there, then they're like, okay, are you on this app? Then meet there, talk to them. There are some avatars, there's some island, or there's some place, and then you discuss or you do some action. So that is already there, and that was 12 to 15 years back. So when they rebrand it and call it metaverse, meta tag, they want to now they don't want to they want to just sell VR headset or Oculus or something. But yeah, nobody wants to have a headset on their face. It's not a Ready Player. It's not Ready Player 1 or Ready Player 2.
So I have a
Yeah.
slight different take on metaverse. Like their idea of the next social network is metaverse. They have done everything that they can on Facebook. They have done everything that they can on Instagram. It's on a decline, or it might go on a decline in the next 2-3 years. So what next? So they try to hook people up, not our gen. Obviously, we won't be sitting around in those comical headsets on our face like
Right.
24/7, right? But the next gen, they want something to be hooked onto, which like because they're lazy, right?
Yeah.
Not calling it out. I've seen they're lazy in comparison. So what they tend to do is they want everything in their hands and like around themselves. So if they want to meet a friend, they want to put on those glasses rather than go get
Go
dressed
get
up,
there.
take a shower, go out, meet them. They don't want to do that. They want to do the basics. Put on those glasses, uh, and go into that universe. They'll meet their friend there, hang out over there with them, have a virtual coffee. Maybe I don't know how that works. Never tried it, but that is their idea of socializing, and this is what Facebook is marketing the heck out of, to install this as an idea in their brain, so that they're automatically inclined to doing this uh, in the years to come. So that is the hook that they're looking for. Like Instagram has that hook, Amazon has that hook, YouTube has that hook. So basically, like this whole social media element has a hook. It draws to your what do you call that? Uh, like it makes you habitual, right? So that is their idea of the next hook that they want to generate.
Correct.
And
The people
obviously
will become
having
addicted
games
to
and
this.
applications. Yeah. So that
Addicted to
that
it.
is the yeah. So the word that I was looking for was dopamine. So this
Dopamine, yeah.
generates dopamine,
Hmm.
and they've known this fact for a while, and they so there's this interesting, I think, documentary which is called The Social Dilemma. I recommend watching. It's there
I
on
Mm,
think I've
Netflix.
seen.
Yeah.
mm.
So
It is
that
there,
talks
yes.
about this social media related dopamine, and obviously Amazon has that instinct in me as well. I've seen that whenever I try and search for something on Amazon that I want to buy, I keep it in my cart or whatever. I explore the page, then I see ads everywhere,
Yeah.
and then it
Similar
does not
ads.
leave
Yes.
me until I go and buy that product. So that is how they're making you habitual to their platform. And like the social media element is slightly different. Dopamine is secreted when basically you post something and you get a like.
You get
So
a
you
like.
go and you search like who liked it, and then you keep scrolling. You go back to the app every few minutes just to check like what is ongoing now, who all saw. So that is the hook that I was talking about, and I think they want to do something similar with metaverse. So that is my take.
Mm,
Unless they do something that is
mm,
very, you know, if we saw the stills of GTA 6 that was released.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, there's no. Maybe it's not that good quality. Maybe they're doing VR. Who knows? If it comes in VR, you need a beast of a machine,
extra hardware. Yeah,
extra hardware, or you need a
mm.
HDMI which plugs into the headset. I've seen those machines. And yeah, playing GTA like that, immersive. If it happens, that is another level where you're hooked into an environment which has weather systems, has sunrise, sunset, people, missions, things to do. That already with our WASD and keyboard, we're already inside it. With our 15,
Mm.
17, 22, 36 inch. But imagine having us wrapped
that.
around that, and then
Mhm.
you have time. If you have time, and if you have lockdowns, that's your escapism to be, going somewhere else without going somewhere else.
I can only imagine the size of the game, man. It's going to
Yeah,
be in TBs,
correct.
not GBs. GBs won't be
Huge.
sufficient now.
Yeah, because it started off with GTA 3. GT3 was how much? One DVD only, right? It was the first
Yeah, yeah,
first
three
four
400
GB.
4.7
megs.
GB.
400 megs or something. I
Hmm.
downloaded it
Hmm.
through LimeWire, which I was
Yeah.
about to, bring across.
Right.
So I used to do a lot of P2P because, we had a very basic machine. We could barely afford, having a machine at that time. So our source of gaming was either Nero place, which is
Hmm.
some like, the similar place that you were talking
Hmm.
about. Either we used to go there and purchase our games, but those used to work or not work. And,
Hmm.
it was a hassle to travel all the way over there, buy a new game, come back, and then
Hmm.
because we could not check it over there, right? Not all
Languages
of
used
the
to come
vendors
up. It
allowed.
used to be
Yeah.
Japanese languages, Chinese language,
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
like, what am I doing with this?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. So
yeah.
I was a lazy brat, okay, and
Hmm.
I never used to go on my own because I was at that age group. I didn't have a lot of friends who had this mindset that we have to go and
Hmm.
buy games from Nehru Place
Yeah.
or places like that.
Okay.
So my discovery was LimeWire, and I saw people used to use LimeWire to download music mainly.
Hmm.
P2P, MP3s were there, some
Hmm.
movies, some not a lot of movies were available at the time, but some MP3s. But then, as I explored the platform, I tried to search for games. It was just a curiosity. And I
Yeah.
searched for a game and I got some hits, not the exact game that I was looking for, but I got some hits. And I downloaded and it actually worked.
Hmm.
So that was revolutionary for me at that time. I was, in school. I don't know what my age was. I think it was around 2002, 2003, yeah, right about that time. So
Hmm.
pretty young. And when I found that, I was like hooked.
Hmm.
Everything. I used to tell all of my family, friends, and if you need anything, you can
Yeah.
contact me. And this is
Hmm.
predating pen drives. There was no
Pen
pen drive
drive
at that
was
time.
But
way, it took a
Abhishek,
lot
I'll
of
tell
time to
you,
get the pen
if
Expensive,
drive.
you,
yeah.
I'll tell you the way, you said, if you need anything, tell me.
Oh
So we
Yeah,
yeah.
used
yeah,
to,
yeah.
actually become these suppliers of the family.
Correct,
Anybody was
correct.
MP3 चाहिए, हाँ मिलेगा ना, game चाहिए, yes, you will get games
You
also.
hear
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You
So
tell
I
what you
used
want,
to burn
movies, yeah, yeah,
CDs
yeah.
and I
Hmm.
used to, act so cool about it. Like I used to say, ki, it's like a very difficult task. You don't know how much effort goes into burning a CD and all of that. And what if it doesn't work out? Like,
Oh yeah.
those. So I remember the application which we used to use for burning was,
Nero. Nero.
yeah, yeah,
Nero,
Nero, Nero.
Yeah.
Nero
Nero
was the one.
6.
And yeah, and it was, I think, a paid application, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I bought it once and then I realized I could, easily find that on LimeWire as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, so the next versions, consecutive versions were from LimeWire. But those initial days, I was like, acting pricey about like, whatever music you need, I can give it to you. But then I used to act all cool about it, and people were like, "Yeah, this guy's a genius."
Yeah,
Like
the
initial
format
years, and
and the
then
format in which we could write a
yeah,
song, either the old classic method, you want to hear it that
Mm.
way, or you hear it in the MP3. And in MP3,
yeah,
how
yeah,
much can
yeah,
100 songs? What?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
that was path breaking.
The
So
original format was into CDAC file.
hmm.
It was
Okay.
CDAC format.
Okay.
Because in original format
Yeah,
now you could only have 12 or
12
15
songs,
songs.
12
12 or
songs,
15 songs. The
limited.
file size used to be very much high and दिया था. But in MP3, yes, it actually changed the game. With
Correct.
MP3, we used to that buy the from the local CD wala. If you buy that, typical CD 700 MB, and then you find the latest movies, photo behind the CD cover, and there used to be up from 60 songs, 70 songs, 100 songs, and used to be like, wow, now if you want something, you tell me. So that was, the time, the software which you said, that Nero software. I think so.
Yeah,
Our generation used that Nero.
That
We
was
actually
yeah,
use that
yeah. We
Nero.
survived on that.
Yeah.
no,
And
yeah.
then versions came. Nero
Otherwise,
6, Nero 7, Nero 8, Nero 9.
And
yeah,
Versions were coming.
we
that
used
was
to actually have
revolutionary.
that. Yeah, yeah. We used to always have this conversation with my like-minded friends and cousins that, which version of Nero are you using?
Ah,
Oh, you're still on 6.
boasting
I
and
downloaded 8. So it was
bragging
always like
rights.
this
Yes.
Oh yeah.
bragging right
Yeah.
sort of competition.
Yeah.
It was super fun. Like
But
those
it
are
was
the
quite
good
simple,
days. Yeah,
the software was so easy to use. It was so graphical user interface. You
Yeah.
click here, you click here, you click here, and that's it. Your job is done. You need not use too much of brains, for
Actually,
compiling or making a DVD or CD.
it did depend on the hardware that you were using. So
Oh yeah.
the writer that I had was like extremely like bad because I
Which
got it
one?
secondhand from
Bear,
some place.
Asus, HP, which one?
So I got it with the PC itself.
With the
Okay.
PC.
So when I
Okay.
was building my PC, I got that with itself. I didn't
Hmm.
know which brand it was. Like I don't even recall because this is way back. And I used to just so same price you were getting a CD reader. Okay. And same price I got a CD writer. I didn't care. I wanted a CD writer because I wanted bragging rights of giving ripped CDs and
Hmm.
give it to people or maybe sell it, but never actually sold one. So the idea was to have a CD writer, but then it was so poor that I used to destroy 9 out of 10 CDs that I used to rip out of that.
There were
Oh,
casualties, many
Yeah,
of them. Yeah.
yeah. So it was something to do with the lens. I think the lens was not clean, or maybe
We had
the
those
quality of
CDs
CDs I
also, which
was.
had those brushes on top of it, and then you play those. It used to clean the
Yeah,
lens
yeah. It
also.
used to clean. It used to clean, and it
Yeah.
used to play music alongside that.
It.
I
Ha ha
used to
ha.
find that.
Correct.
ah,
Correct. Correct. Correct.
it used
Correct.
to play
And
music.
at
You're
that
right.
time, I used to think that it's playing a CD. How does it actually clean?
Ha
Like
ha.
it must be a myth, right?
Yeah.
It cannot actually clean the hardware. Like there's no software in it that can clean the hardware.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
used to use a lot of brain, but rightly you pointed, it was
Yeah.
brushes that was actually doing the cleaning.
Correct.
And it
Correct.
never worked for me. Like,
Ah.
until like I spent the big bucks later on and I got myself a DVD writer. But
Hmm.
then by that time, DVDs got redundant. Like pen drives came into the picture, and
Okay.
you could use Rufus to build
Hmm.
images on this
Correct.
USB drives. So just wrong
We
timing in
had,
purchasing all the hardware.
Hmm.
you won't believe, Abhishek, I still remember we had these two DVD. Again, there were these two companies which were there. One was Samsung and second was LG. So many people used to buy the, Samsung CD writer or Samsung DVD
Oh,
writer,
I had LG. Hmm.
and LG was
So when the
another
remote
company.
also
So
LG
again,
used to come.
yeah, so they used to actually have, other kind of infrared, a logo on the CD writer, so you can, have a remote. So eject out,
Yeah,
eject
yeah,
in,
yeah.
play, pause,
Play, pause,
from
and X on
yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
So we used to actually, burn those CDs and DVDs on that. And so we used to again, compile the movies. You won't believe, I'm to say, with the games, so we used to definitely, copy, burn them, and distribute with the friends. We used to also do that for movies.
Hmm.
There were
Yeah,
so
yeah.
many
Same
movies
movies also. Yeah.
which we were doing, and then me and Sanman, we actually
HD.
got one software. You won't know about this, but there was a software called as A Shampoo Movie Shrink and Burn.
Hmm.
Now this was a
I've
very
heard of A
unique
shampoo, but
software.
not really knew what it
A
did.
shampoo
I
also
have
was very,
heard
very
of
polished,
A shampoo.
but eventually
Huh.
Yeah.
we learned our roots through proper
Compress the video file.
video encoders, audio encoders, try all the types that are there, which one has the best bit rate. So
Yeah,
wo
yeah.
learning it from scratch, no content, no YouTube and no Wikipedia. Figuring it out, testing it out.
Everything.
Huh.
That is why I used to waste 9 out of 10 CDs, and that
Yeah,
one CD which used to burn correctly was like my eureka moment.
correct.
Oh wow, I did it successfully. Now I'm gonna
Right.
have this, and I'm gonna show it to my friends and all of that.
Hmm,
So
hmm, hmm.
good times was the struggle
Yeah,
was important
that
because
struggle.
it taught us the value of that one CD that you were wasting.
Hmm.
I
Yes.
don't know what was the cost of that 25 CD wala box. I used to get that like in one go, and then
With dual
act pricey.
Us-
casing,
Okay, I'll not give it.
different pricing with just inside a stack, it's much cheaper. And without labels on top, full completely blank bald
I
CDs,
can tell you the
even
cost. I
cheaper.
can tell you the cost. I can tell
Yeah,
you
yeah,
the
yeah,
cost till I
yeah.
remember a normal CD would cost you 30 rupees. Okay. For a single CD, if you just want to buy a single CD.
With
And
gel
when we were
case,
buying when we were buying in spindles, because
5
then
rupees,
50,
7
25,
rupees.
नहीं 5 rupees वाला तो बहुत कम था. वो तो
हाँ.
Prinko करके थे. Used to be company called
No, no,
Prinko.
no. Moser Bear
Moza
reduced the
was
cost.
quality.
Mozilla
Yeah,
reduced the cost and had a better
cost.
quality.
It was I think I bought a
17,
single CD for
17 or
10
18
rupees
rupees.
at one point of time. Moser Bear was
Huh.
cheaper in
हाँ,
comparison
हाँ.
to these Samsungs and all.
Hmm.
at
And
at time, I'll tell you, because long time back they came from 30. 30 say they became 17 to 18 rupees, then it became 10 rupees, then it became 5 rupees.
Hmm.
And at that point of time, there were also DVDs which came into picture, because earlier only CDs were there. Then came DVDs, and DVDs again the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
thing happened.
Same cost.
They were
Expensive.
expensive earlier, then prices got reduced, and then Chinese companies came into picture, because we actually used to go to Leamington Road in Bombay, and we used to buy spindles. So we used to go to the shop and used to tell him 50 DVDs dena and 100 DVDs dena. 50 was me and 100 was Salman, always the higher
Of
count.
course. Of
So
course.
so he used to be, the collector for this, and we used to actually have, these kind of CD spindles, and there were so many movies and games which we have written, we have done, I still have a huge collection of movies. I still have a huge collection of movies which Salman and me made at that point
Yeah.
of time. We even had a website. It was called as Xerox Factory.
Xerox Factory.
Xerox Factory. Factory with a
FAK.
FAKTORY.
So we had our inventory up there.
Ah,
It was a list. That's it. Only
yes.
list of names and what all we
Got
had.
it.
And we
But
had to
tell him what
we had to
exactly was there
categorize
in the
it.
list.
So we had to categorize which movie is falling into which CD, and then that CD is kept inside which book of CDs.
Got it.
So book of CDs and bunch of CDs, DVDs inside
Wow.
it, and then where it is saved. So if somebody asks, okay, I want a custom CD with these things, we can go quickly and get it from here.
Well, please
Yeah.
go on our website of Xerox Factory.
Put
Please
an
check
order
the
for
movie which you want. And again, it's used to show a description of the movie, a photo of the movie, the genre, the kind of, how many
Nice.
minutes the movie is. And if I tell you the exact figure, we had reached around
900.
790,
No,
900, sorry,
900 we had reached.
900 cross. 900 cross movies were there with us, Abhishek, at that point of time. The kind of count which you're talking about, that's kind of huge.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you say you have 900 movies at that point of time, people did not even, like, know what to say. If you say you have got 900 movies, it's 900. And again, because for people, watching movies was typical star movies or, typical channels. So they were not too much into, downloading and, keeping the movies with you and then sharing your movies and all those things. But still today, if I'm not wrong, I must be having at least 200, 300 movies right now, which Salman and me made. Apart from, which you uploaded. And now he has given, Salman, where are the movies which was there?
I sold it by the kilo. I sold it by the kilo.
I
Gone.
You
used
should have
my
kept it.
my
Yes.
previous movies as frisbees. Super fun.
Super fun. I'm keeping them as antique. Someday somebody will come and buy
Yeah,
them in
yeah.
billions. He'll be like, "ये movie कहीं
That
नहीं
is
मिलता है
possible.
where you-"
That is
I mean,
possible.
eventually movie props. It's all about movie props. Somebody who wants something that is from that age and they want it in the movie. That's a studio that will come out and, okay, we want this from that era, and we will have it. So
I
yeah.
still have it. I have not even thrown one CD or a DVD. Yeah, seriously, I've just kept it. My son says, saying that, okay, can you show me this? I said, no, this is not for you.
Yeah,
This is
no
only for
oxygen
me.
will enter
This is,
that box at any time. Okay, interesting.